Right now,
Yes.
they call it the ECE for
Yes.
5 years olds,
Yes.
and then 6 years primary, 3 years junior secondary, another 3 years senior secondary, and 4-year higher education.
Yes.
So the one is what they're trying to put to make it look a little different.
A
But
little
again,
different.
this 3-3 is the same with the junior and senior secondary, and the
Yes.
4 is for the university.
Yes.
So that is why people have been asking about all these policies of government back and
Yes.
forth.
It is like calling our ministers Secretary of State after the United States of America or Great Britain, as if the change of name would immediately affect something, wonderful, fantastic. It's never so. It just name change, that's all. The 6-3-3-4 system has not been adequately tested. For example, 6-1 in the primary school, 6 when you get to the secondary school, you spend 3 years in the junior secondary school, and then you spend another 3 years in the senior secondary school. In between that period, a decision is made as to which area or areas students could go. What is your special area? Is this an arts person? Is this an arts boy or girl? Is this having a scientific bent of the mind? So that we will now decide. Or is this somebody who could go an artisan because this person hasn't got the brains to continue, and so on and so forth. A decision will be taken at the end of the first 3 years. Then you now decide which people should cross the Rubicon to go to this senior class.
From where did we lose it?
But that has not been tested.
Yes, from where did we lose it? Because now you're talking about testing this, because we will remember our parents, some of them had just standard 6 and they were fantastic. So some say it was education for self-reliance then. So how come now, even the first 6 years in our 6-3-3-4 system, the first 6 years, you really can't be on your own and by yourself?
You cannot be on your own by yourself. You see, when you leave primary school, which is supposed to be standard 6 in those days, today you have acquired, you permit me to use the language, simulacrum of education. You don't know anything. You don't know your right from your left. Now, what is the cause of this? These are some of the things I've just told you. We don't have good teachers anymore, dedicated teachers who are committed to the profession of teaching, and this is because they are not encouraged. Nobody encourages them, and so they now fall back. They now rely on so many things. So many of them are contractors. They just go to school, waste so much time, do singing, a lot of singing, shout, and it is soon 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Then they go home. The same thing is repeated even when you get to the university, where people now sell, photocopies of their books or books from somewhere, for sale and so on and so forth. No real teaching. During my time in the university, there were serious tutorials, and a university student would be treated as if you were in the secondary school. You would go for your tutorial. If you didn't go, that would count against you at the end of the session. Okay. It's no more so. We are no longer serious. So why are we not serious? That's the type of thing. Those are the reasons we should probe into.
But part of perhaps, I don't know if they sought to address the problem of perhaps why we're not serious.
Yes.
The economic summit.
Yes.
They intend to move the country forward,
yes.
Encouraging foreign direct investment. But they also came up with a lot of recommendations in the face of all of those dangers. They smiled in the face of it. So is that one major step? How did you see the entire framework of the summit?
I like to think that, and I just like to say this, this is one step in the right direction as far as this administration is concerned. One should be critical about things that go on in the society, but what this administration, the Jonathan administration, is doing, I love it. Talking particularly with regard to this National Economic Summit Group. This is a right step in the right direction, because for once, the federal government, the National Economic Service Group, Summit Group, has involved the states, and the private sector, as evidenced by the attendance of about 30 governors, at the summit. So, who made their contributions? And I was so happy about that. So there is not a one-way traffic.
Okay, so, but would it be fair then for us to say that we'd like to see the results of this summit by the IGR of those states?
Yes.
Or the way they improve upon it?
Yes. Well, I do hope that if I could see some element of seriousness on the part of those people who were there and on the part of government at the same time. So one would hope that in the foreseeable future, meaning between now and 6 months or latest 1 year, we should be able to see the result of all these things they talked about. There's only one thing that they talked about, I mean, which the one resolution they made at the NASG, which I didn't take kindly to.
Oh, wow.
That is the removal of withdrawal of fuel subsidy, which even the president harped upon. He thought that was a serious resolution which must be acted upon. I don't believe in the removal because it's going to have very dire effect on the average Nigerian or Nigerians that are already suffering. And the hue and cry, I don't want anything to disturb this government. That's why I continue to say this. Now the hue and cry that will attend the withdrawal of this fuel subsidy could be enough to distract any government. So they have to think about it properly. I mean, I think that this thing is coming about at the instance of the evil triad, if you like, the World Bank, the IMF, and the World Trade Organization, and so on and so forth. I think it's coming directly from there. And they have to be exercise circumspection, extreme circumspection in buying hook, line, and sinker into this suggestion that we should remove fuel subsidy. Do you remove it? And what is now 65 naira per litre is going to shoot up definitely to something very close to 200 naira.
It seems to us that we never think of the fact that it can ever come down again. I mean, what I'm saying is, if they remove it now,
yes,
definitely there will be pains.
There will be pains.
There will be pains all over the country.
Yes.
But it seems that we're all of the mind that this pain can never be ameliorated, in the sense that it's going to be like that permanently.
Well, that's what most people think, and yours sincerely, I also think that